Hi, today we're going to be washing some fruits and vegetables, and I'm going to show you how I do this. The reason why we wash them is because of the pesticides and other things that are on them, and you don't want that in your body. Now, most everybody buys organic when you can, and they're more expensive, and I understand that. But even though you buy organic, they still have to use pesticides. They can't say, on this farm it's only organic, but next door there's a farm and they're using pesticides. Well, then the air blows and whatever and it gets over. But they still have bugs. They can't put up a screen around your farm and say, okay, all the bugs don't come over here. It doesn't work that way. They still use pesticides. They will just water them down a little bit more than what they normally do for the other farms. So you still get pesticides and you're still needing to wash them. So I'm going to show you how I do this. Now, I learned this years ago when I was first married, and that was before I got into natural foods or anything. I used to listen to the radio all the time. We couldn't afford a TV. And I was down in Hawthorne. My husband was going to engineering school. And I heard this. Some twins were on the Gary Owens show, if you can believe that. And he had interviewed them quite often. And they were into natural foods and whatnot, and they had said this is what they used. Well, I continued using it all these years. It's been 43 years since we've been married. And I have found there are a few other ones that you can use, but this is one I use. It's easy and it's simple. What I do is I just get the regular lemon juice that you get in a bottle. This one I happen to get at Sam's Club, or you can get it at Costco. Get it at the grocery store, just lemon juice in the bottle. And then I use about to a sink of water. If you have your kitchen sink, fill it like half full. And tepid water, that's like not warm, not cold. If it's a little cool, it's okay. It's not a big deal. You're not going to want to use hot water. I know we wash your hands, hot water, we take a bath in hot water. But your vegetables, you don't want to cook them yet. So you wash them in tepid warm water. And then you pour in, we're going to use a half a sink of water. Now this is going to simulate my sink. It's a little hard to take a picture over there, so we're going to do it here. And all this is a tub that I had bought. Anyways, we're using 1/3 of a cup of lemon juice. And it takes a sweet time to get out. So to a half a sink of water, 1/3 of a cup of lemon juice. Okay. And then I use about 2 tablespoons of salt. Now I buy my salt in bulk. This is the white sea salt that I get. And I get that at Winco if you have a Winco around. If you don't, it's just somewhere where you can buy bulk foods. And I use about 2 tablespoons. Usually I don't measure. I'm only doing it for your benefit. So there, about 2 tablespoons. Stir that up. Now you can wash a lot of fruits and vegetables with this water, and when it starts to get a little bit color to it, you might want to change your water to include or to clean it out, because you don't want to use dirty water all the time. So we're just going to put some tomatoes in right now, and yes, they have the tags on them. I'm going to take the tags off. And we let them sit for just a few minutes, maybe 3, 4 minutes, 5 minutes. It doesn't really matter. Now, I've done this with berries. And I know berries, you have to be very careful with them so that you don't bruise them and tear them up and you'll end up with juice in your water. But the lemon juice and the salt will make it taste tart. And I did this with some berries I took to church for a potluck some months ago, and I just washed them in this very gently, and then I strained them, put them in a colander, and then I dipped them into some cool water that was clear, just 2 or 3 times like this, and that washed them up. Nobody ever said anything about the berries being too tart. So I know I got the salt and the lemon juice off of them. So we just kind of wash it like this. Now, so if you want, you don't have to rinse these. I mean, we're going to be using this in a dish I'm going to prepare soon, and it won't make any difference. But if it's like apples or something, you don't want to eat an apple with the lemony taste of it on the apple. So you can rinse that in some cool water and it works just fine. Just rinse them off in water or put them in a colander and dip them, whichever way you want to do it. Anyways, that's how you do tomatoes. I have some red leaf lettuce over here that I would like to show you how to do also. Just a second. Okay, so I have some red leaf here, and I'm just going to pull off some of the leaves and put it in here. Now, if you do this with head lettuce, cut out the core with a knife. Take a knife, cut around the core, or you can break it and tear it out, whichever way you like to do it. And then kind of splay it. You don't want to break it apart completely, but just kind of pull it a little bit. Put it in the water, up and down like this. Turn it over, and you'll feel the cold water come out. Now, if you have tepid warm water and you're feeling cold water coming out, that means that you haven't washed all the way in there. You have to get more of the water in there to wash it out until it becomes warm. And then you'll know that you've washed it. But the thing about head lettuce, you'll get a lot of suds after you're done. It's sudsy looking. And I find that interesting because that's the pesticides that are coming out. Also, after you've washed some of your vegetables, I don't know if you'll be able to see, I doubt you'll see it in this because the camera won't pick it up, but you will be able to see it. And that is in your sink, or if you do it in a bowl or a tub or something. Let the water set for just a few minutes after you're all done rinsing your vegetables in this, and then, or your fruits, and then just look at the water, and you will see layers in the water of different layers. It's cloudy looking, and that is pesticides that are come out. You can also take, if you look at it, and you'll see a glint coming off of it. That's also pesticides. So that's stuff you're not going to be getting in your body, and it will taste better. Clear water will not take the pesticides off. This will. Now, I do have another one, and let me show you what that is. There's a few different ones out there. There's something called Fit. It's done with grapeseed oil, which is good. You can get that one at the health food store. This one is BioClean Produce Wash. And I just pour a little, I use it like this, one of these, if I'm doing just like one single apple. My husband's making his lunch, or my son, and they don't want to, wash a whole bunch of apples. So they'll just, little dot on it, rub it in a little bit, let it set for 2 to 3 minutes, rinse it off, and they've got their fruit. So it's just different ways that you can do that. Okay, so this I can take out, strain it in a colander, and then I can spin off the water. And I've seen some people, I have a friend that she washes all of her fruits and vegetables when she brings them home. That's fine, you can do that. Just be sure you change your water in between sometimes, because it starts to get a little bit cloudy or a little bit colored to like a tan color. You don't want to keep washing your fruits and vegetables in that same water, because you're not doing much good for them. Anyways, so that's how we do fruits and vegetables. I do all of my fruits and vegetables that way.